how I started in real estate, I actually had kind of two starts in real estate. The first start was growing up with my father. He was in the United States Navy, and I have three other sisters. And he was getting close to retiring, and figured out that his retirement for 20 years in the service was going to be roughly around $800 a month. So he knew that wasn't going to cut it. So he started learning about real estate, and I was kind of by his side as we fixed up houses, rented them out, cleaned them up, etc. So that was kind of my first start in real estate. I just really didn't have the awareness that I did much later in life. So my second start in real estate was my father introduced me to a group of investors in the Los Angeles area. I grew up in Ventura County, and I was going to college out in the Los Angeles area, and they specialized in buying properties at the foreclosure sale at the auctions. So that is what I call my second start in real estate, where I would go and drive the properties in the morning, go to the bank, pick up cashier's checks, go to the auctions, and once we acquired those properties, I would kind of manage the project from there, make sure that we had them rehab, fixed, et cetera, and rented out. So when I started, I think they had about 12 or 15 properties, and when we ended, we had over 100 doors. So that was probably the most exciting and educational time of my life in real estate, for sure.
Wow. How old were you?
Gosh, I started when I was 18. So that was a really young age to be kind of in the heat of the foreclosure auction battle. But it was I look very fondly back at those years because I really learned about how to buy distressed real estate. What I always tell people that ask me about what I do in notes is I do three things in notes. I buy, sell, and I also create notes. So what I learned through the years by looking at debt and finding out what the risk parameters are and evaluating them properly, I was able to pass that knowledge around to other investors that were looking for yield with some security behind it. I did very well, especially when there was a downturn in the stock market, because people were really freaked out about losing their hard-earned money. So they wanted to go into something that was backed by a hard asset, and what better than a piece of solid real estate in California. So I've been working with a lot of individuals and buying notes for them, and passing along my expertise to make sure that they buy a sound note, and they are well aware of the intricacies and the possible way to mitigate them. I also sell notes where if I find a note that doesn't fit my parameters or my investor parameters, I'll sell them to another party. And the last part of the equation is creating notes, which is one of my favorites, is actually loaning money or creating a loan in order to facilitate a transaction. And now you've created a note that pays yourself or your investors a yield.
Is the Note Guys website still the best place for people to find you? If people are looking to find you personally and talk to you, is that the best place to send them?
Actually, we've converted that website more to a note buying site so that we're getting notes off of there. There's certainly ways to contact me off of there, but we're going to be launching a new site soon called the cashflownerds.com, and it's basically I'm developing a lot of content that I'm going to be giving away because like you said, although I really love notes and that's where I've done a lot of business, I'm really a cash flow nerd. I get cash flow from a multiple of different investments. So I wanted to pass along kind of that type of experience and knowledge through the Cash Flow Nerd site.
Okay, so tell us what's going to be on the site, because I love the title. I mean, I can call myself a nerd all the time, even though people laugh at me because of the way I dress. I don't look like a nerd, but I really am a Class A nerd. Well, maybe I'm a Class B nerd, but you might actually be a Class A nerd. You may have been a nerd from the beginning.
I admit it, and if you're listening, you can't see the mug, but I have a mug that says Cash Flow Nerd on it. So the Cash Flow Nerd, I want to have a lot of videos and blog content where people can at least get an overview of different types of strategies that are out there. I haven't made anything up new, but what I've done is I've studied a lot of different ones and just have a really frank discussion about the pluses and minuses and the realistic expectations of all the different types of strategies, that people want to look at to implement, because what we're finding is that there's this whole movement of people trying to get out of their 9-to-5 jobs and really buy some freedom with passive income.